The island of Newfoundland is the most easterly part of Canada, while the vast region of Labrador is largely inaccessible. Newfoundland and Labrador's varied landscape was shaped by the ice ages, leaving a rugged coastline of deep fjords and high coastal cliffs that plunge into the sea. Inland are miles and miles of moorland and forests studded by lakes and inhabited by moose and herds of caribou. All around the island's irregular coast are towns and remote former fishing villages that attract tourists with their breathtaking scenery, sea life, and exceptional birding sites. So here is the list of the 10 best things to do in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for the latest upcoming travel videos. Here we go. Number 1. Morne National Park. Designated a World Heritage Site in 1987, this supersized Lord of the Rings-like playground in western Newfoundland is where geologists proved some of the world's best examples of the process of plate tectonics. It's also where adventurous types come to traverse the moon-like tablelands, sharpen their kayaking skills on the Trout River, and leg it up to the top of Gros Mountain for great views of Bone Bay and 10 Mile Pond. Further must-dos include venturing through the billion-year-old Western Brook Pond Fjord on a 2-hour cruise that takes in the 1,150-foot high Pissing Mare Falls and the cliffside sculpture known as the Tin Man. The park is also home to Writers at Woody Point, an annual literary festival that mixes author readings with musical performances at Woody Point Heritage Theatre and at other intimate venues in the heart of Morne National Park. Number 2. Signal Hill National Historic Site. Atop its namesake hill, Signal Hill National Historic Site overlooks the Atlantic Ocean, St. John's Harbor, and the small historic downtown. In 1901, Guglielmo Marconi received the first transatlantic wireless signal here. The landmark Cabot Tower commemorates the 400th anniversary of John Cabot's voyage. Hiking trails lead to the fortifications at the Queen's Battery Barracks and along the perilous cliffs, including spectacular but difficult North Head Trail down to Battery Road. Number 3. Lance Auxiliary Meadows National Historic Site. A UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1978, the windswept coastal outpost of Lance Auxiliary Meadows, where Norse sailors first settled in North America, has clung onto its title as the only authenticated Viking site on the continent. Located at the edge of Newfoundland's Great Northern Peninsula, it features a waterside settlement with 8 timber ansod buildings, 3 replica buildings with costumed Viking-playing actors, and a 3-kilometer trail that winds through the barren landscape. There's also a superb interpretive center where you can watch a film about Norwegian explorer and Viking champion Helge Ingstad, who followed a hunch to rediscover the site in the 1960s. Be sure to visit the recreated Viking port of trade nearby to play traditional Norse games, take pottery lessons, and marvel at the Norse Nar replica of Snorri, the first ocean-going Viking merchant ship that sailed here from Greenland. Number 4. The Rooms. Dominating the hilltop in sharp contrast to the neighboring 19th-century Romanesque Revival-style Catholic Basilica, St. John's newest museum is called The Rooms and includes several different collections divided by subject. Sections include wildlife and natural history, Aboriginal finds, contemporary art, and historical and cultural exhibits that give a good picture of both Newfoundland and Labrador. The museum has a popular restaurant and some of the best views over the city and Signal Hill. Number 5. Cape Spear Lighthouse National Historic Site. Cape Spear Lighthouse National Historic Site, 11 kilometers south of St. John's, is the most easterly point in North America and has Newfoundland's oldest lighthouse. It is a popular, if chilly, spot to watch the sunrise as well as sight whales, seabirds, and icebergs. Dating from 1835, the light station was in operation until 1955 and is now an interesting museum. In addition, there are massive half-ruined gun emplacements from the Second World War, including the barrels of 2 guns each weighing 30 tons and having a range of 13 kilometers. Number 6. Torngat Mountains National Park. Named for the Inuktitut word for place of spirits, the Torngat Mountains are the highest in mainland Canada east of the Rockies. Reached only by charter plane or boat from Goose Bay, Nain or Kangaiksalajajurik, they are best explored on a guided tour with the elders and youth from Nunatsiavut and Nunavik who call this place home. There are fjords, valleys and towering peaks galore, as well as plenty of wildlife: seals, whales, wolves, eagles, caribou, muskoxen, polar and black bears. Unsurprisingly, it appeals most to adventurers on wilderness camping excursions, many of whom tend to stay at the Inuit-staffed Torngat Mountains Base Camp, open from July to September, at Happy Valley Goose Bay. Mercurial weather aside, must-dos include scouring the ground for remains of tent rings, stone caribou fences, food caches and graves, taking a boat trip to spot turquoise-outlined icebergs, and steering well clear of the ever-present polar bears. Number 7. Red Bay National Historic Site. Designated a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2013, the fog-shrouded fishing village of Red Bay on the coast of Labrador is where you'll find plenty of stories of how thousands of Basque whalers came to these waters to hunt large numbers of right and bowhead whales. Highlights include standing at the burial ground where 140 whalers were laid to rest, taking a boat or kayak to Saddle Island to marvel at archaeological sites, and check out the remains of the 16th-century Basque whaling station that was discovered in the 1970s, and hunting for Captain Kidd's treasure that's buried somewhere near a pond on a hill. Also noteworthy is the Interpretation Center, where the Scene Stealer is an 8-meter chalupa used by whalers on the ocean to harpoon their giant catch. It's the oldest known whaling boat in the world. The site opens from early June to the end of September. Number 8. Cabot Tower. Cabot Tower is a tower in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, situated on Signal Hill. Construction of the tower began in 1898 to commemorate the 400th anniversary of John Cabot's discovery of Newfoundland and Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee. In 1901, Guglielmo Marconi received the first transatlantic wireless message at a position near the tower, the letter S in Morse code sent from Poldhu, Cornwall, United Kingdom. Cabot Tower is now the center of the Signal Hill National Historic Site of Canada, with walking trails and an interpretation center. Number 9. Cape St. Mary's Ecological Reserve. There are major colonies of seabirds at Cape St. Mary's, including about 24,000 northern gannets. The birds are a spectacular sight, whether nesting on the rocks or dive bombing the ocean for a meal. Other seabird species at the Cliffside Reserve include black-legged kittiwake, common murre, razorbill, and great cormorant. The ocean waters off the reserve also provide winter habitat for harlequin ducks, common eiders, scooters, and long-tailed ducks. The reserve has been designated an important bird area by BirdLife International. In addition to the numerous birds, humpback whales may be viewed from the heights during the annual Capelin Run. Number 10. Sandbanks Provincial Park. Sandbanks Provincial Park is a provincial park on the island of Newfoundland in the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. It is located on the southwest coast, approximately 150 km from the Trans-Canada Highway near the town of Baguio, less than 3 hours from Corner Brook. The park is known for its expansive sandy beaches and dunes. Covering an area of 2.32 square kilometers, the park has over 7 kilometers of beach and several inland hiking trails through bog and forested areas. The last word. So guys, this was the best list of things to do in Newfoundland and Labrador. Hope you will like it and appreciate it. People who come to this city are amazed by all of the awesome things there are to do and see. It's all rainbow-colored wooden houses clinging to cliff sides, hike-worthy landscapes, and outstanding national parks in Canada's easternmost province of Newfoundland and Labrador. Add to the mix of historic towns and villages, 11,000 miles of craggy coastline, and a rich Viking history, and it's easy to see the appeal of this wanderer's paradise. So, if you love to travel and you want to see the whole world, then Tripwire is the channel that gives you a list of the best places to visit in the world. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for latest upcoming travel videos. Bye bye, see you in the next video.